You go away from me as I prepare to do this stuff. It's weird.
Yeah.
So let me wait on it here. There we go. Let's see. Nope. Yep. Going live. Let's see if it's giving it to me. Yep. That's what I wanted. I wanted a little note. All right. Let me go ahead and do our intro and I'll get started here.
Oh.
Hello world, this is Kevin from Fiction Factory, and you're listening to DC and DH on the DND Dynamite 80s podcast.
They have been best friends since childhood, played the same sports, attended the same schools, and now they even teach together. You are listening to DC and DH on the DND Dynamite 80s podcast. So guys, take it away. All right. Welcome in to our weekly podcast. We are D&D Dynamite 80s out of Nashville, Tennessee area. We got a good one tonight. We got some folks that are in our backyard, actually. So we are excited to have Barracuda, America's Heart Tribute. And we've got Shireen and Chris with us. And that, I believe I was told you guys were original members of starting the band. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Hey, how are y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Doing well.
Thank
Good. We appreciate you taking some time with us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, our pleasure. First, let me ask this. How did you get started in music? Is it a lifelong thing or start late or how'd it go?
Well, personally for me, I've been in music my whole life. Grew up in a musical family. That's nothing new there. I think that many of us have done the same, but I guess started out very young singing in church and then going on to a private Christian school. And I was always in the choir and doing solos. And then from then I moved on to doing jingles in the studio and for my brother-in-law who had written, and I'm sorry, I have someone who is in the background who's waving. Yes. And then from then on, it just, I was in different bands doing country music and all sorts of fun stuff. And then in 2000, I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and then I got really serious about it and do something more. So that's my backstory.
Okay. All right. Chris?
I think I started playing when I was 15 and somewhere around 1984, I went on the road with a top 40 cover band. And so that was my foray into full-time musicianship and did that until I ended up in Atlantic City for about 14 years and then came down here and kind of played around with a couple different bands, and then through a couple of contacts playing with somebody else, I got introduced to Shireen here, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Well, that leads me into my next question. So approximately when did the Heart Tribute get started up? How did it?
Yeah, I love the story. It's bittersweet. Back in 2016, about 7 years ago,
Wow,
is when we formed. And at the time, we had a different band together. It was a cover band that I had, Shireen and the Kings, and we were doing private parties in places like the bowling alley here down in West Nashville.
right.
And I had a bass player at the time by the name of John Putnam, and John is unfortunately no longer with us, and God bless his soul. And he was a very big influence on my life. And so he and I did music together there. And then while we were doing that, everyone would come up after the show and say, hey, all your music's great, whatever you do, your variety stuff. But for some reason, when you sing Heart, it just launches, it takes it to a different level. And I thought that was so interesting because that was the music that I was most passionate about. I always grew up with classic rock and all of that, but Heart was my all-time favorite. And so John had said, hey, we could do a band and just do all Heart. And I said, yeah, that sounds great. I would love it. And so we started talking about that. I didn't even realize that tribute bands were a thing. I thought it was just
Oh, yeah,
got together,
yeah,
just did a bunch of heart tunes, you know.
sure.
So it was really coming together. And I would say that was a little bit more than 7 years ago. I think that was probably like 9 years ago now, but 7 years was the marking of the first band, and that was Back to Avalon. That was the first, and I'm still wearing merch from that. Heart. And yeah, and from then on, we moved into some different name choices and landed on what we are today is Barracuda, America's Heart Tribute.
Yeah, yeah. Is there a lot of competition out there for the same groups?
A fair amount.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's, if you did a search on
Yeah.
tribute acts, you'll find entire agencies that do nothing but tributes, and they will have just about every band, every popular band, and some that you really wouldn't think were that popular, but there are a lot of tributes out, and there are a handful, maybe 5-ish, 6-part tributes that are kind of up and down the East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. On this side of our world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not as many as like a Journey tribute or Fleetwood Mac, but
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
definitely out there.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll talk about that here in just a little bit, because I know you've done some work with a guy that I really admire, and I've had him on the show, Ryan Christopher.
Oh yes.
So yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did a little background, and I know you've heard this, but I want folks that are listening to hear this because I think it's important. On your website, a quote from a radio personality, I think in the East Tennessee area, because he sounds familiar to me, the name, I just can't place him. I lived in East Tennessee, matter of fact, for about 26 years. So I think I've heard this guy's name. But anyway, quote, their stage presence is amazing. There is no sign of egos or competition. I love the way they share the stage with each other. And, it just goes on and on. The lead vocalist is unbelievable. If I didn't know any better, I would swear Ann Wilson was on the stage. This is how professional musicians, this is how professional musicians are supposed to sound.
Wow.
Awesome.
In
Such a-
quotes.
So that was
So
my mom.
that really stuck out to me when I read that. I was like, wow. And he's right, because like I said, I found you guys like everybody, a lot of people do, just searching YouTube, and I was just blown away. And I know this, we're in the backyard, and we're definitely going to come see you at 3rd and Lindsay or somewhere. At some point we gotta get to a show of yours for sure. So that's what's exciting to us, is that you're close. So we'll definitely be able to catch you more than once, if of course that's what we would like to do. So.
Welcome every time.
Absolutely. So folks that are listening in, let's go ahead and let's see if we can do this. We'll share screen here with you, and I've got it pulled up. We'll listen to a couple minutes here.
Okay.
All right. So there you go. Like I said, I was floored when when I seen some of your work out there and everything. So yeah, I think he's spot on. I mean, it's just amazing musicians. And here it ought to make you feel pretty cool. It's got to be a cool deal and make you feel good that you're at that level where people are like, man, this is like the closest to the greatest part of it we can get to. And you're giving that back to people. That's got to be very rewarding.
It's awesome. It really is.
Yeah. How does that? Yeah. What kind of emotions, how does that make you feel that you can provide that gift?
Oh,
It is a gift.
It is a gift. And
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
and I don't claim anything other than that. It's just, it comes from God. And I'm just so grateful and thankful that I can do this and just bring back the most wonderful music that occurred. And I tell our audiences, they just don't write music like that anymore.
No.
Hard music was so complex and deep and emotional, and there was just something about it. The melodies, the harmonies, just amazing. But it makes me feel it's hard to put into words. And I often am overcome with emotion after we finish a show because people are just so welcoming and they're so into it. And they're not short of telling us at the meet and greets too. We've just been overwhelmed with great comments and just awesome people.
That's fantastic. Yeah. You started in on my next question. Why is the heart music, it just generation after generation, decade after decade after decade, and you touched on it. It's the lyric, that kind of music is not made anymore. It's just not.
Yeah.
What could you add to that? Is it the sister combo? Would it have worked? I'm curious about this. Do you think it would have worked if it wouldn't have been the two sisters? Let's just say Anne had somebody else in the bunch, or a buddy that she tried to make it work with.
Can I take this one?
You take it.
I mean, present day has kind of already answered that question.
Yeah.
They're more successful together than they are separate.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about a lot of big acts that had two very prominent songwriters and personalities in the band. There's a push and pull.
Yeah.
And sometimes it causes friction, and sometimes friction results in amazing music.
True. Yeah. That makes sense.
I've just heard stories from, lots of prominent bands who've had, the two big ones, they clash. Well, in some writing and studio sessions I've done, I've had, the producer come in and just get on my butt, and it got me so mad, but yet I came out with the best track I'd done all day. So there's something to say about friction, and apparently there is friction between the sisters right now.
Sure. Yeah.
It did something very special, and you can't beat the sibling harmonies. I mean, they're seamless. I don't know, just my 2 cents.
Yeah. Gotcha. By the way, wanted to appreciate, I had his name and I've talked to him several times. Where did I put it? Got my junk. Oh, Doug. I wanted to thank Doug for getting my shirt to me so quick.
Sure.
Yeah, he dropped it off for me at school yesterday.
Awesome.
And shout out to you, Doug. Sorry I couldn't find your name. I've been back and forth email with you, and when we email so many different people, all these names to get just mixed up in the head. So anyway, appreciate Doug getting that to me. And by the way, these are the most comfortable shirt I think I've ever owned. I may like stay in it until it stands by itself or something.
They wear well in the hot tub too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, there you go.
Barracuda skin.
So anyway, wanted to get that on there really quick. Everybody check them out. I think you can get you can get your t-shirts, and I think they've got like stickers and all kinds of stuff on their website. So by the way, and they'll let us give us all that info at the end of it, all their social media stuff and all that. But it's a well put together website, by the way. So get there and you can see all the info that's going on with them and all that great stuff. But anyway, yeah. So let me go with this next, because we were talking about Ryan Christopher a little bit. How did that combo kind of start up?
Well, I've known Ryan for several years now.
Okay.
To see them play at Third and Lindsley. In fact, our band,
Yeah.
Back to Avalon, had opened for them at Third and Lindsley. And then I had just mentioned it to Doug, in fact, that it would be awesome if I could ever do a duet with Ryan or do something with Ryan vocally. And I thought, oh, they're so busy with Resurrection, and we're busy with Barracuda. I don't know if it would ever happen. And so it just came about where now that he has departed from Resurrection, and he was getting so many different offers and on what to do next, and just deciding. And we had a call with him one day and just asked him, hey, what do you think about this? And since he's just the voice of Steve Perry and of course Van Wilson, and he said, and he paused a little bit, he goes, I love the idea. I love it. So we just had conversations going from there, and we've put this thing together called Journey from the Heart.
Yep.
And we're going out. We're going to be Cowan on October 27th on Friday night in Nashville at Top Golf. Show starts at 7:30, and we're super excited. So everyone from Nashville who's been wanting to hear this, come on out, get your ticket.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. That's going to be exciting for sure. That combination.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I had seen those guys. Oh gosh, I can't even count how many times, because they would play. I live here in Murfreesboro. They would play Main Street all the time when Main Street was open. So anytime they played, we would catch their show. So yeah, seen them a bunch. So very talented guy.
Yes.
So that's awesome. That is fantastic to hear that y'all got together and you're collaborating some and all that great stuff. That's fantastic. Fantastic.
All the best of Heart and all the best of Journey in one night.
How can you beat that?
I don't know.
You can't. You can't. What a combination. What a combination. And that's say that again now. Where's that at?
Cowan at Top Golf.
Top Golf. Yeah. Yeah. I had read it somewhere. I just couldn't remember right off the bat here. So that is fantastic. Yeah. So we'll re-mention that as we wrap up here in just a few minutes, but that is great stuff. Talk to me about the newest member. How did all that come about?
Yes, Maxie.
First of all, I hate to knock you. Let me stop you just a second, because here's what kind of got my attention was that now she was not around with when Heart was Heart, like 80s and all that. So I'm baffled. I'm talking about like her age, because I know I'm old. So I'm curious how she got involved in loving the Heart music, Yeah.
Well, she has some history too with her family and being around music. And so, and her dad actually had played together, and she's from Wyoming, by the way, from Buffalo.
Wow.
And had come about 7-8 months ago now. And actually work with her, not with her on stage, but at the same venue downtown on Broadway when I do classic rock night on Tuesdays at Whiskey Bent. And she also plays in different bands there as well. And so I heard her name and I introduced myself to her. We talked and saw her play, and I said, I think that she would make a great Nancy Wilson. So I had approached her about it, and she said, I would love to do it. Absolutely. And so she dove in. She really did.
That's awesome.
It didn't take her long at all for her to pick up and carry on with us. So it's just amazing.
Yeah. Fantastic. So many talented people in Nashville, aren't there? So many musicians that are so talented.
Yeah, the talent pool is deep here.
Yes. Oh, yeah. and we've been lucky. We have met and interviewed several. Just they're great people. There's great people that have come here and want to show their talent, and that's awesome. I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, but the scene, neither one of you guys, well, I know Shireen is not, but are original to this area, correct? You're not. Okay.
Correct.
Chris. Okay.
Dog it.
So we are. And I know for a fact that the music scene, the genres of it have changed tremendously over the years for the good. It's awesome. Everybody, oh, it's the country music capital of the world. And I guess, that's what a lot of people know it as. But there's a lot of opportunities with a lot of different types of music, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that. That is fantastic. And that's
Chris-
changed over the decades, of course.
He's actually the live music goer. Like when we're not gigging, he'll go out and experience different bands and he sees a lot of variety of music.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
There's never a lack of good music to see here in town.
Yeah. That is, that's the kind of the idea I get too, and like I said, growing up here, that was what was the focus. Everybody came here to try to hit it as a country star, and I wanted to be on the Opry stage and all that. And it changed. I mean, there's people, this is a great one too. My stepson works for a high performance racing type corporation. He I think he's like in the racing wheel division or something. But anyway, they send him all over the place to functions, things like that, to represent the company. Anyway, he was on a flight back from LA to Nashville from work, and this guy's sitting next to him the whole trip. And it was one of these deals. Hey, the guy looked over and said, I love those shoes. He loves wearing all these different kinds of tennis shoes and styles and all this. And he goes, man, where'd you get them shoes? And they just started talking to him. And, they go back and forth. He goes, well, I'm going to give you my agent's number. He said, I want you to come to a show, when I play live in Nashville the next time and all this. And he's sitting here and he don't have a clue who this guy is. They're just chit-chatting about, style, clothing styles and stuff. And anyway, he goes back and forth, and ends up being George Thorogood. I'm like, what? I'm like, are you kidding me now? He goes, yeah, you ever heard of a George? I'm like, yeah, he's in the darn Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He goes, oh, that guy that sings that song. Yeah, I remember that song. So anyway, but he said, yeah, but people like that are in and out of Nashville all the time.
Yeah.
Coming to see agents or, but he was coming to do some recording, he was going to do some work, in a studio or something. But, anyway, but my point is, but, just the varieties, of music is out there if you want to find it, I'm sure.
Yep.
Or it seems like it is anyway. So that's fantastic. Have you had the opportunity to actually, any of Hart's people compliment your work? Not necessarily meet somebody, but maybe, through social media somehow?
Years ago, I did a lot of stuff with PRS Guitars, and I was on their forums and kind of embedded in that group of guitar forumites. And Howard Leese, original guitar player, writer for the band, was on that forum. And so a couple of times we did some trade deals on some music instruments, and he bought a couple of items from me. I usually get a happy birthday thing from him every year. He won't comment on the music.
Yeah.
He will comment on my jackets.
Okay. Likes the jackets, huh?
We own a couple of the same jackets.
Gotcha. Yeah. So he definitely picked up on that. That's cool. That is neat. Yeah, well,
I'm actually
hope-
friends with Roger Fisher, and I'm in his group called the Army on Facebook. And so we get a little inside information there from him. And he's still writing and
Yeah.
performing and just wonderful. And
wow.
he's commented on some of our posts before, and he says, keep it alive, love it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like, hey, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're keeping their music alive, keeping it out there.
Yeah. Yeah. That and that's cool to hear that. We had a tribute to Pat Benatar lady on last week. And I asked her the same question, have you had a chance to meet? She goes, well, actually I did at a luncheon. And a friend of mine invited me to this luncheon in LA that she was at. And anyway, I caught her as she was coming down the hallway and she seen my hair. The lady has real short hair and stuff. She goes, oh, ma'am. She goes, I don't want to bother you. I just want you to know we're doing a tribute to it. I hope tribute bands don't bother you oh, honey, it's all free reign. Don't worry about it. That's just the way it is. And it's great. And good luck to you. She was really nice about it. And she goes, by the way, I love when my hair was like that. She goes, I can't wear it like that anymore. So anyway, so that is cool. That's cool to be
That
able
is
to
very
experience
cool.
some stuff like that. So
Yeah.
so hopefully even you'll have some more contact with them as this goes along as well. So that's cool
Yeah.
stuff.
I know. I hope
Um,
to. I actually met Ann and Nancy at the concert that they did here
Oh,
last
wow. Okay.
on
Yeah.
August 19th. I think it was August 8th, sorry, 2019. And it was right before COVID. So it was
Uh-huh.
interesting because we did the meet and greet. We had
Yeah.
tickets. My friend and I had gone down there and we got to meet them, but it wasn't a face to face. We couldn't come right up and look at each other right in the face. We had to talk to them side by side. And I think it's because they already knew something was going on, so they didn't want to
Pre-COVID. Yeah. Pre-COVID
yeah.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
and I didn't think it was strange only because I'm a
Yeah.
singer. I get it. I don't want germs for people. Like I've got to stay healthy.
That's your
So
living. Yeah. Sure.
yeah. It's
Sure.
not that I don't want to engage or
I got you. Yeah. You got to stay
but-
healthy. Yeah.
yeah, but
Sure.
they were so nice, and we
Well,
told
awesome.
them too that we had a tribute to them.
Oh, okay.
Gave them a T-shirt, and they smiled, and thanked us, and just very pleasant.
That's got to make an artist feel good. I don't know how it wouldn't. Like, hey, they're trying to keep my deal going, and
Mhm.
I don't. There's probably some out there that kind of frown on it, but I don't understand why they would. It doesn't make any sense to me because
Right.
you're keeping the music alive for them, and helping spread it to younger people, other
Yeah.
generations. So,
Yeah.
they're it's awesome. I know that both my buddy and I we love the tribute bands. We try to get a lot of different ones represented on here and stuff because it's just important what y'all are doing and spreading that and that talent and letting people enjoy that music again, have those feelings and emotions again. That's good stuff. I mean, that's a gift, no doubt about it, to be able to do that.
Yeah.
On a lighter kind of note, as we always do this, and DH will when we brief about it. Oh, you didn't do the question. So here's the question. I'm going to do both of them because I've been wearing him out with winning on the newest question. But on our guest, we do these questions, and here's the deal. He kind of tries to lead everybody down the road for his answers, where I have to pay for the post-conference breakfast at the Waffle House. That's where we do our post-conference on the shows. We debrief and all that good stuff. We do that weekly. So anyway, so I'll do the old one first that we did for the last, I don't know, couple of months. Then we switched over here recently to this other one. Here's your first one. Van Halen or Motley Crue?
That's really a no-brainer for us.
Van Halen.
Okay. All right. So I got worn out on that one for months. I got worn out on that one. Okay. I lied to you. We got 3 going.
All
Here's
right.
the next one after that one. this is where Dave got a little bit, I got a little bit caught up. Prince or Michael Jackson?
Easy one for me, but what about you?
Yeah, I would say the same. And I know what you're going to say. So we will say it together.
Prince.
Yeah. So I wore them out on that one. That was mine. That was my pick. I had Motley Crue on the first one, had Prince on this one. Now I'm wearing him out again on this one. Journey or Bryan Adams? We wanted to put a solo artist against a group on this one. We change it up all the time.
Actually, two great artists. I mean, both bands really prominent and never really, maybe had a tiny dip here and there, but both of them still going strong.
Yeah.
I'm a little partial to one of them right now because I'm spending every spare minute learning
Their stuff. Yeah.
Guitar licks.
I got you.
I'm gonna have to go personally. I'd have to go Journey on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the one that I have. So I've been on fire the last couple of questions. So, so DH, it's on record right here. We've got it. We're recording it. So, looks like you'll be buying again on Friday morning.
Nice.
So there we go. I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that so much. So that works out nice.
Yeah.
So no, we have a good time with that. We have, it's a lot of fun. So
Awesome.
Anyway, yeah, but talk to me about some upcoming stuff. You already talked about a little bit about the Top of Golf and all that. So what's some other stuff for Barracuda coming out?
Well, we have a brunch at City Winery the very next day after the Friday night Cowan show. So that's on the 28th.
It's coming up quick. Yes. I remember seeing that on the list.
Starts at noon, and we're going to just rock it out at noon.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just an odd, different time. There you go.
I know. We have some special things planned for that. And then following, we are going to South Carolina, to Florence, to the Pecan or Pecan, depending on where you're from, festival.
Right.
They have their pecan right here in the South. We're going to do a festival there for them on November the 4th. So we're super excited about that. And gosh,
Then the following week, we're back in South Carolina with Journey from the Heart. In Sumter, South Carolina.
Yep.
And I can't remember, Sumter Playhouse, maybe?
Opera House.
Opera House.
Okay.
I'll go with that. It's on the socials, which she knows all the info on that.
Yeah.
Opera House.
Since we're talking about different locations of where you play, what's the furthest place you played from, from the Nashville area?
Vegas. Just
wow. Fantastic.
It was so fun.
Cool stuff.
No, I got to break away and go to the Sphere for a while and see the Sphere.
Yeah.
We done a couple in New York.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We just came back from Florida.
Yeah.
Texas was kind of on our loop.
Yeah. A lot of tribute. Who did we interview? We interviewed a REO Speedwagon tribute out of Texas.
Oh.
But they told us there's a lot of demand for tributes in the Texas area, like Dallas, Fort Worth area, and all that. That there's a lot of that goes on. So that's awesome.
Market now. It is competitive, and there are some really, really good bands doing it now, and it's a lot of fun for me to watch, to go see those bands. It's a lot of fun to be in it because I get to deep dive on some of these songs. We mentioned before, you play the songs differently when you're in a cover band, just doing 40 songs a night, as opposed to doing a tribute where you're literally, I find YouTube ISO tracks from the original recordings, so I can hear every little nuance that they played, and I'm trying to copy that stuff.
Right.
So it's kind of fun to deep dive and get this, but I think that's what separates it from being a cover band to a tribute.
That's a great point. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. You want to give them it's a tribute, you want to give them all the recognition that that group has and deserves.
As authentic as we can make it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Talk to us about all the social places to find you.
Oh, yes. Okay. Our website, which is easy. It's notheart.com because we're not heart. So it's simple.
Right.
Sometimes Barracuda or Barracuda America's Heart Tribute is so long, people forget. So
Yeah.
not heart, so simple. So go to there, and on the bottom of each page on the website are links to YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yeah.
We're on there as America's Heart Tribute. You'll find us, come like us, come
Mhm.
follow. I always tell people, come in, the water's warm. I mean, what better place to do an interview than in the water? I mean, we're very
That
good.
is fantastic. By the way, that's probably been my most favorite interview is the background, all this. That's great stuff. We've
Perfect.
interviewed a guy. He has an office in a closet. So that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. We've interviewed some people like in, a couple in Australia, Scotland. So some of those backgrounds have been pretty interesting, but this right up here at the top for sure.
Thank you.
Awesome. It's pretty comfortable for me too.
It's a great idea.
All right. Well, we appreciate you taking time with us. If y'all can hang real quick, we'll get our sponsors in here real quick and we'll close it out and let you enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you so much.
Okay. DND Dynamite 80s would like to thank their sponsors, Hudson's Flags and More, the Nesting Project of Smyrna, Tennessee, and PJG Marketing. You can find all these great folks online. Yep. PJG Marketing. That's Pam Green Marketing out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Speaking of Dallas-Fort Worth. She's fantastic digital marketing person. She helped us. She can help anybody. I guarantee you, she can definitely help you with all your social media stuff and all that good stuff. So check her out. Yeah. Hey, we appreciate it very much. We had Shireen and we, Chris, not Chris, I'm sorry.
It is great.
Lost track. Sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
Chris.
Chris.
Yeah.
Chris is right. So, Barracuda and America's Tribute to Heart. And these guys, like I said, are in the Nashville area, but they play all over the place. And we're going to come out and see you. And we'll be the two older guys that are bald headed in the front row waving and going crazy. You'll
Perfect.
know us.
You're more than welcome.
So we appreciate you joining us tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. This is DC once again, D&D Dynamite 80s in Nashville. I lost audio on you guys. There you are, I think.
We're here.
Hey,
I got you. I got you back. That was on my end, I think. Yeah, I took down my volume too much on my end. I was blowing my ears out here, I guess. So anyway, no, we appreciate everything, Chris and Shireen. And hey, all the best to you, your families, and your travel. Be safe, and we'll check back in with you for sure. You're in our backyard, so all the best to you.
thank you. You too.
You guys check them out. Like I said, it's Barracuda America's Heart Tribute. And like I said, you get on their website, you'll see all the places they're going to be playing here coming up, and get out and see them. Just fabulous musicians, and you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be an amazing show that you see for sure. So as DC, oh, by the way, little plug for next week, Halloween show. We're going to have the family that owns the Bell Witch Cave and farm. We're going to have those folks on. We're going to have a storyteller that knows all about Tennessee history of ghost telling. That'll be pretty cool. Lady that's actually wrote about the Amityville horror stuff. She'll be on as well. So we're going to have a cool show with about 4 or 5 guests, talking some scary stuff, I guess. So that'll be cool. So that's what's going on next week. We appreciate it. Week following that, we're going to have one of the original members of Expose, Lori Miller, joining us from Miami. She was one of the original Expose singers. So she's been on before and she's awesome. And she said, yeah, I'd love to do your show again. And so we're going to catch back up with her. So that's the next couple of weeks coming up that we're going to have on the plate. So once again, guys, we appreciate you. DC here from the Nashville area. Join us every week. Wednesday night, 7:30 is our show. You can see the replays on the YouTube, of course. TikTokers, we appreciate y'all, your support as well. And yeah, as DC always tells you guys, keep playing those 80s.
Thank
See
you.
you.